Hey, what's up, Kouz here? Welcome to the channel. Today we're starting our tutorial section that I call Reason for Beginners. Let's get into it.
Kouz made it.
When you first open Reason, this is what you see. Three essential elements: the mixer, the rack, and the sequencer. If you put your mouse here, show mixer, you click it, you see the mixer. This is one part of the mixer. If you click it again, it hides the mixer. If you double click here, you see the entire mixer. If you double click it again, it hides the mixer. The same thing with the rack. We already see the rack here with some effects. If you click it, it hides the rack. If you click it again, you see the rack. If you double click it, you see the entire rack. If you double click it again, you see the half rack. You do the same thing with the sequencer. You bring your mouse here, you click it, it hides the sequencer. You click it again, you see the sequencer. If you double click here, you see the entire sequencer. If you double click it again, you see the half sequencer. Another important thing to mention, it's the browser. Here. If we click here, it hides the browser. If we click again, we see the browser. We have instruments, effects, utilities, players, and so on. What I like about Reason is that when you understand Reason, you understand a lot of music theory. Like, if you learn how to use Reason instruments and effects in the racks and in the mixer, you'll be able to understand and use a lot of analog gears. I'm going to add some instruments so you can see the similarities between Reason, the software, and analog gears, the hardware. Let's click here to see the mixer. I'm gonna click here, add track, then choose new track. Again, 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 again. Okay, in Reason, audio tracks are instruments too. Now let's continue adding instruments. Now we have a bunch of instruments. If we double click here in the mixer, now we see a mixer like the analog one, like the SSL analog mixer. Well, it says mixer here, but it's more of a console. Double click here. If we go to the rack, double click, then we see the rack. So these are instruments in the rack. The analog rack, the hardware, and Reason rack. Let's double click here. And here we have the sequencer. If we double click here, it's just like other software sequencers. Fruit Loops sequencer, Logic Pro sequencer, Ableton sequencer. The instrument you have on the rack, you see it in the mixer and you see it in the sequencer. From audio track 1 to friendly keys. If we double click sequencer, we can see from audio track 1 to friendly keys. And that's it for our first lesson. Thumbs up and see you on the next video. Au revoir.
Kouz made it.